Alfie, one bud. How is it 2026 already? Where did the time go? Crazy. Hey Alfie. Oh, it's yourself. Welcome to the woods. 2026 has came. 2025 in the rear view mirror. There's been blizzards, there's been torrential rain, and we're only in the first week of January. Thank you for joining me this evening in the Black Lodge, where we're going to discuss whisky in 2026. Are we going for a soft reboot? Is it a new beginning? Or is it going to be business as usual? Who knows? There's already been some controversy, and as I said, it's about 10 days into the year. Right, you, come on, let's move on. Now 2026 means new beginnings for everybody, new year, new me. But you don't forget about your existing friendships, your existing loyalties. Now you're wondering why I'm holding a camera, talking to the camera. That's because I'm filming this here on a Lumix S9 that I got just before Christmas. And I'm filming the Lumix S9 and you guys with the Lumix GF1 that I got in 2010. My first proper camera. Mirrorless, could change a lens. Couldn't afford the lens, so I had to get a mount and then get a Nikon, a cheap Nikon 50mm on it. And this was my go-to. And it doesn't autofocus, it's all manual focus. I had to do it, whereas this, all singing, all dancing, audio in, autofocuses, 6K, the lot. But why am I talking about a camera when this is a whisky show? Because I think there's quite a correlation between the two for me. You build loyalty through firsts, or through first sips, or first taste, first events, first meetings, first clubs. And I think in 2026, it's going to be a running theme. That loyalty and that experience that you have over shiny and new. In 2026, those loyalties that I spoke about, those brand loyalties, bottle loyalties, people loyalties, shouldn't be taken for granted. 2025 saw a really positive upswing and people going for good spirit, good distillation, good production methods, good branding, good pricing. But we've seen it before, and I'm sure we'll see it again. Brands can get a wee bit, distilleries can get a wee bit funny with the slightest sniff of success, where they start to take that for granted. Those people who help support them through good and through bad. I've seen it with retailers, I've seen it with liquid, and I think we'll see it again this year. However, my main takeaway here is just because you're loyal to something doesn't mean it's right for you at this time, and you can move away. This camera, that's a GF1. I think I should be coming into focus now, but I wouldn't have been in focus for the rest of it. And the second I come away from it, it doesn't suit my needs anymore. It sits on my shelf because I have to do all the hard work to make it work for me. And in this day and age, nobody's got time for that or the money. These are terrible analogies, aren't they? But I hope you get what I'm saying. So join me the night in the Black Lodge as we all talk about the Great Reset of 2026, the ambition it holds for brands, the ambition it holds for people, the hope we have for the spirit, but also the little bit of dread that everybody's starting to feel when it comes to pricing. A lot going on out there in the world and we don't know what's next. But that's why you're in the Black Lodge, Saturday Night Drams. I'm freezing. I'm going to head back and get this all set up, and I'll see you in a minute. You would think I'm in the bloody jungle. I swear to God, the noise in here. Became that guy that buys the same trainers. And just like the magic of With the magic of Hollywood, we're back in the Black Lodge. I've got this to open before the stream that you're about to watch live. Figured, let's get in. Let's see. This was a auction mistake in that I was bidding for a few bottles and added this on and then lost all the other bottles and ended up with this and paying money that really there's no value in. But, you know, oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? You get a thank you now. And a wee 2 discount codes. Lovely. Thank you. Nice. Whiskey auctioneer. Nice touch. It doesn't make this any cheaper. This was one of those purchases where it's like the compulsion to complete a set. Glengoyne Legacy, Chapter 3. Probably could have got it cheaper if I'd shopped around, but you know what, I never paid over RRP for it, so we'll take it. But we'll get that, and we've got other bottles tonight to discuss that I got over the Christmas period. We're going to be talking about what you got over Christmas. I look like a bloody blimp wearing this because I've got a jumper under it as well because it's bloody Baltic. And then under that, I got another layer. So, I've not had too many mince pies over Christmas. Just stating that for the record. Anyway, you're no here. That's me rambling. Let's jump to the live stream. Will we roll the credits? Aye. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Away you go. Hello. That one's for Alan Smith. Welcome back to the Black Lodge. I'm David at Drinks Whiskey. Happy New Year, everyone. Can you believe it? 2026. I think I said 2026 in that VT about maybe 45,000 times. I hope you are all keeping well. Thanks for joining me here tonight, January the 10th already. How's it been 10 days since New Year? Manic. I think the last stream was maybe coming up close to a month ago. So I appreciate everybody that's in tonight already. I'm just having a wee look through the chat. Loads of yous already in. All the familiar faces. Great to see loads of people. Anybody new coming in, you are more than welcome at the Black Lodge on a Saturday night for Saturday Night Drams. As you can see, I was a wee bit busy today trying to put something together. I just thought a nice wee precursor in the theme of what we're talking about tonight, which is like the Great Reset of 2026, and what that means. It's been a theme across different whiskey channels. I've seen it in a lot of whiskey chats, a lot of whiskey groups. There's a lot of doom, there's a lot of gloom, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of optimism. That's what we're going to be discussing tonight. How are you guys? How's everybody coping after probably a busy December? As in the weather, if you're Scottish, the weather's been battering Scotland. Something awful. It's been battering the south west-ish of England, the middle of England. We've just been cold and wet in London, and I've missed the snow. There was snow in London when we were in Scotland, and then when I left Scotland, there was snow in Scotland and London here. So if you don't need snow, come to where I am. In the glass to kick off is the usual palette, the Glenmoe 12. Do let me know what's in your glass, guys. As always, kick it off. I'm going to jump up right through the chat. A lot of chat this evening. Let's see who we've got. We've got Julian. Julian, great to have you in. Anybody that's not having a dram tonight as well, what's in your cup? Are you having a coffee? Are you having a tea? Are you having a lemon sip? I know there's a lot of people out there who are under the weather a little bit, or doing dry Jan. More powers to you. Dutch Dura, great to have you in. Bowman 1999's in. Tony Nelson's in. Hope you're enjoying, but dinner plans may get in the way. No worries, mate. Thomas Jones, great to have you in. Who else we got? We've got Pete Heads in. I'm seeing his name. Try to find a comment. We've got Ian in. Ian, great to have you in, mate. There he is. Pete Heads in. PX, great to have you. The Eastie Boy himself is in. Christian, Al's in, Alan. Let me see. Peter saying, let's not forget, even Dave hope somewhat settled. Yes, guys, I've been a wee bit MIA on the socials and stuff. There's been a lot going on. Not just with Christmas, but just before Christmas, my grandmother passed away quite suddenly. It kind of put, obviously, a bit of a dent in the festivities and what was going on. And then, because of the timing, the funeral wasn't until Monday this week. So we were up in Scotland, which I'll talk about. Had a great time up there. Drove back down. Got back Saturday. Had planned maybe to do a stream of sorts. There was no time. There was no chance at all. Went, bought a suit, flew back to Scotland Sunday, got back to London on Tuesday evening, back to work Wednesday, and then we're here on Saturday. So it's been a bit of a manic time. Hence why we had the intro we had tonight, where I just wanted to pick up the camera and make something a little bit just kind of pointed and dust off the cobwebs or the mince pie crumbs on everybody. So that's kind of what that Frank's message was referring to there in the chat. Rafe, great to have you in. I was saying there's a wee bit of reverent I am jolly. Mate, come on, look at the chair. The chair's built for I am jolly. And when I do those videos, I do seem serious. I'm not so much serious as I was freezing. And I had Alfie, my dog, whimpering, just go, come on, let's keep walking, let's keep doing stuff. Why are you staying in the same spot, doing take after take? And I was dealing with horses. There was horses going by, and then there was people walking by looking at me, camera gear and a big back. Oh, there was a lot of, hence why I looked so like locked in on the zone. Lowlander, great to have you in. Fraser, brilliant. Just about to give the babies milk. I'll keep it down. I'll keep it a wee bit quieter then. Christian saying, what I'm having a Kilkenny 12, what are you having? I am going to do the usual. Let's hope this works. The wire's been a wee bit when I was testing some stuff out. But as always, let's go to the dram cam. So, not quite jumping into what we're having for what I received at Christmas or that, but what I did buy was this Living Souls Lagmore, mostly single estate. Now, I believe it's a Ballandalloch. Am I pronouncing that right? 10. There was a Master of Malt 20% off code that came out on Boxing Day. Was it Christmas Day? Boxing Day. So I paid next to nothing for that, and I just thought, why not? I've never had something from there. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Living Souls. This is the first bottle I've bought direct from Living Souls. I've tried them at festivals and stuff, so I have that. That's probably going to be my next dram after the wee Glenmoe 12. Then with same code, Master Malt, I had to pick up this Brackler, aged over 11 years, Sherry Cash Finish, Thompson Brothers. That's been open now, probably about, I'm trying to think when I opened it. I got that delivered to Glasgow when I was up there, so I think I opened that on the 30th of December, and that's all. I shared a bit with my uncle, and then I've not had it since, so I'm quite looking forward to having a wee drop of that. Bargain alert. Now, not normally one for buying a Westland single cask that's £93 exclusively for the Whisky Exchange, but I am when they reduced it to £32. There might still be some online if anybody's tempted. I've not tried this yet. The guys in store, when I ordered it online, I picked it up at the local Whisky Exchange, and I was telling the guys, and they're like, no way. And they walked over to the shelf and saw it, and were like, when did that happen? And bought one right away. And they had one open. I couldn't try it at the time, but the phrase I got was like peanut M&Ms to it. So I'm really looking forward to that. So it might be one that if we think looks good, I'll drop the link in if anybody wants to pick one up. We have, of course, a mystery malt, batch number 5, which is the Kalila 11, I believe. Sorry, Kalila 12. We had this, and it was everything you could hope for in a Kalila. I've not had it since before Christmas, so I'm really looking forward to that. I wasn't going to put this one on, but I had to fling in the latest cask strength 12, the 55.5, 100% bourbon, because as you can see, I've not had much of it, but I've not stopped thinking about it. I've had very few drams over the Christmas break, believe it or not, so I'm really looking forward to having that. Behind it, you can see there's a Kilkerran Cask strength 8-year-old. That was my Secret Santa gift from my whiskey group. Someone gave me that, and that's the banging 8-year-old that came out during those COVID lockdown years, and this was the one that everybody raved about. I believe as a percentage, you can see it if it goes there. Yeah, the 56.9%. So I've had one pour of that when I opened it on the Secret Santa, and then I've not, so I'm going to be going back to that. And then, topical, we can have a wee chat about, but Ralphie's Ardnamurchan, because that's been there, he's been here, there and everywhere this week, and I've got a few thoughts on that. So that's a round table that we're looking at this evening. Let's see, we've got Mike B's in. Cheers, lads, to party. Hope everyone had a great new year. Ian's on an Ardnahoe Infinity Lock. Or Infinite Lock, sorry. Brilliant. What else we got? Got a happy new year for Lowlander. Thanks, mate. Same to you. Hope everybody's keeping well and good. And Alan saying it's been icy, been doing the middle his penguin walk all week. Aye, I've seen a few people with some bad falls as well. Ian in Shropshire in the Midlands, they've got some snow and ice in the ground there. We've got some ice just outside this evening. It's really cold tonight. Oh, what's happened there? It's really cold tonight, but it's jumping up to 10 degrees tomorrow. Quite a swing. Tim's on the tee. John's in. John, great to have you in, mate. Dry Jan. Thomas Jones. Tom's on a Kilhoman 100% Isla Batch. Brilliant. Woman's having some tea now on a hazy IPA. I'm having a dryish Jan, so I'm having no beer. No, I'm trying to avoid beer and wine, and then I'll still have some drams. I appreciate it, Alan. Thank you so much. Evening, Danny. Great to have you in. And then sorry to hear about your grandma. No, thank you guys. Appreciate it. She went how anybody could ever wish to go, which was very peacefully. Passed away and had her family around her, so couldn't ask for any more really in the circumstances. Billy's in. Good evening, everybody. Kicking off January with some non-sherry scotch. So for the moment, Glencairn 10. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm nearly back up to speed. Scotch Mist evening, just poured a Hazelburn 15 Open Day 2022 banging. Absolutely brilliant. And then Meep saying, I bought several bottles of this, love Ballandalloch, but not the price. Yeah, like, it's new for me. It's a new one for me, so I'm quite, I'm really, like, it's nice when I tried it. I opened it today, just to have a wee bit, when I'd finished setting up down here, because I thought I'll open the bottle so it's not a fresh pour. But as I left it in the glass for about an hour, as I was doing stuff, and then I went back to it, I found it was just pulling out sweetness. Really nice. We get Richard's in. Evening. Yep. Confirmation that that's it. The Lagmo, yep, definitely Ballandalloch 10. Whiskey and Wine Trails. Cheers, everyone. Great to have you in, mate. And I can see Lola saying, have you seen Cadenhead's Authentic Collection release this month? I saw that yesterday. There's some really interesting bottles. The Loch Lomond Grain. I would love to know a wee bit more about that. I know it's a 30-year-old grain, but it's Loch Lomond grain. So is it grain? You know, I need to know a wee bit more about that. But also at that period, was it good stuff? Was it no? Then you've got Springbank in there, and there's a couple. There's Ben Rinnes, fancied. Let's see. That's the one I was talking about. The 30-year-old, 130 quid. Loch Lomond. Right, we're all caught up to speed on that. Guys, nearly 40 E's in here tonight. That's fantastic for the first stream back. So delighted you can join me. And for everyone watching on catch up or listening on catch up, as always, leave comments. We'll try and get back to you. I've been off. I've not managed to I've not even managed to like update my comments from the last couple of videos. So the last couple of videos that I put out, I managed to get, as everything that happened and time was running away, I managed to get my Whiskey of the Year video up. If you've not saw it, it's obviously live now. I went for the Midgie, the Ardnamurchan Midgie, and I'd sat in the fence a wee bit about it. because everybody knows I like Ardnamurchan, and I thought, is this too obvious a choice? And then I broke it down into, do I enjoy it? Yes. Do I recommend it to people? Yes. Have they came back to me and enjoyed it? Yes. Is it worth its money? Yes. And on that kind of scale, I just thought, this is a whiskey. For me, it's a whiskey of the year. I would happily always have a pour of it. I actually don't have it up here. And well, I don't have it in the Black Lodge because it's up in the study. Because when I've been editing and stuff, I've just been having a couple of drams, enjoying myself with it up there. Because it's such an enjoyable dram to just sit with, or just have a couple and not have to worry about what you're drinking. It's just at the right proof and everything. I did some notable mentions. I don't know how many times I've caveated it. Is it the greatest whiskey I had last year? No, but that's not what it was winning. I could have picked something obscure. I could have picked something more expensive. I could have picked something limited or single cask or whatever. But I always like to put something out that if somebody watches it, they go, oh, I quite fancy a wee shot of that. And I know for a fact at least 3 or 4 people did exactly that off the back of my video. A couple of friends of mine, a few friends of mine, and some other people messaged me as well, and they've all really enjoyed it. So that video went up, and then my yearly supermarket sweep, which was a nightmare this year to try and get done. I normally film it the end of November, and then by the time I get around to editing it, it comes out December, beginning of January. And this year I had to do it the few days before Christmas, and it was horrible. I couldn't get Asda in because every time I tried to go to Asda, something else happened, or the one time I did get there, I couldn't get parked because it was the 23rd of December. So Asda's no in it, but I had a look online and stuff. See, I don't think I've missed much by not going to Asda. Lidl, I couldn't get to a Lidl. I don't think I missed much there because it's very similar to Aldi. It's just own brand stuff. But hopefully the video does what it normally does. It helps people. It's a lovely wee time capsule for me. That's 3 years I've been doing it now. And hopefully by the time we get to 5 years of doing them, it'll be great to see the difference in price and selection between the supermarkets. There's already some stuff changing, but there seems to be a consistency now of the level of whiskey available. And I think the standard's getting a wee bit better, if I'm honest. So it's all positive. It's all really positive. What else is going on? We've got, so yeah, Linda's saying, well, even Drinks Whiskey's talking about that Loch Lomond. It really caught my eye. Let me see. Pete Head. I saw Pete Head's comment there a second ago as well. I don't know what's going on with my chat. I'm not seeing it here. Very strange. Can I can't pull that up, can I? Strange. I can see your comment there, Frank, about the Kilkerran 8. It's not the Raven one. That was the 2019 57.1. This one is more sulphury. Yeah, this was more sulphury, but this was the best of the batch that came out during the lockdown period. It is a bit more sulphury, but it's not. There was one after. I think there was one after this that came out and it was just pure sulphur. This is a lot more. It's meaty, I would say, is the word in the sulphur, as opposed to like just not enjoyable. Let's see. Aye, Ardnamurchan. I know. I'm getting bored of saying it myself. That Shearer's got the AD in his glass 10. For me, it's even better than the Midgie. I've got a sample of it, and I did try it at the show. I don't have a bottle of it. The reason I went for the Midgie as well above some other releases was because I think it's accessible. I think it's a nice accessible one for them. Lemon Souls are excellent. Tried the 99-1 and the 19-year-old Kildare festival last year. Ended up with the 99-1, which is amazing for 55. Yeah, everybody was raving about that Lecheg. And I was kind of disappointed I never picked up the 3-year-old Thompson Brothers collab one. If I can see it, if I find it somewhere, I'll pick it up. But just not been I've not actually been buying too much, to be fair. And so Meat saying, so Sainsbury's selling Bladnoch now, which is definitely unexpected. I think, yeah, there's more and more stuff going. And there you go. It's more details on it. 35. Has that came up there? No, it's not. Press the wrong button. 35. I mean, yeah, very tempting. Yeah, like, it's just a very good... There's a better selection coming out now. And I think there's definitely a lot of faith getting put in them, and what they're putting out is consistently good. I think I mentioned before at Glasgow Whisky Festival, I was really disappointed with what they had. They only had a couple of bottles, and they just released a load as well. So I don't know if maybe because they're keeping their stock quite tight, they never had much reserved because all of it had went out to shops. Evening, Hamish from the Great North, beyond the wall. How yous coping? Any respite in the snow expected? It's been non-stop. Maybe saying the new Thompson Brothers 12 looks very tempting. Yeah, there's always a Thompson Brothers popping up, isn't there? It looks really good. Like there's something weird going on between my chat and what I'm seeing. It seems. Let me see if I do this. Will that change it? Live chat, there. Aye, I think is that fixed it? Aye, that's weird. It wasn't pulling through I could see messages on my software, but I couldn't see it on the chat. Very strange. Amy's saying, finish off Comfort Bar, Orchard House, 32 quid from Waitrose, borderline shoplifting. Yeah, that's it. I nearly put that in the lineup. I was looking at it behind there today and I thought, I fancy it. And I was like, there's some I still fancy open. See off that wee 12. So, wee bit of housekeeping done. Excuse me, we'll have a sip of water. As always, massive thank you to everybody that helps support me on the old Patreon. It's been a massive, massive help the last year. It launched, late spring last year. And it's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed the community. A lot of you guys that are in here tonight are part of the community as well. Yeah, just a massive thanks, guys. You enable me to make the videos I make and take the time and invest in the channel, and it keeps me going. Also gives me an excuse to keep doing this. Do you know what I mean? Come back to that. The comment there, guys. As always, if you're watching, if you can give it a thumbs up, much appreciated. Hit that like, that notification, subscribe, all that usual stuff. While I reach over and grab this Lagmore. The labels are lovely as well. You know, for the price of what they're selling it at. Says it's mostly 10-year-old single estate malt, and the palate, I just fancied it. There was a couple of them and I saw this. The Bowmore caught my eye at first, but I kind of held fire. A lot of people took the plunge on it, but there's just something really, there's a lot to be said for presentation, isn't there? Just a nice bottle goes a long way. It's just wonderfully fruity and rich in the glass, but like a nice summery fruit, not, because obviously it's not sherried in any way. It's just, that's lovely. It reminds me, I'm just looking at it, it reminds me of driving from Aviemore to Speyside. And I don't know if that's just an unconscious thing, because I know that this is on the route, but we did it in the summer. and just that lightness and that, fantastic. Great one. Let's see. What else we got? What else going on in the chat? Well, I understand what your whiskey plans, channel plans for 2026. We will come on to that, Orlando. That's definitely one of the things we're going to talk about in terms of the 2026 and what's happening in whiskey and all that kind of stuff. But all positive from my point of view. I'm still going to be here. So what does the makeup of that Lagmore? It's Ballandalloch. It says mostly. I don't know what else. Blended malt Scotch whiskey. I don't know what they've tipped into it, to be honest, if it's mostly. But it's really good. If you can see a bottle of it, I would say it's a buy. So if you like bourbon casks, if you like something nice and fruity, and it's a step up from definitely a step up for the Glenmorangie 12 anyway in my glass. It's not too vibrant. It's very kind of like nectarine-y, peach fuzzy. No the flesh, but almost like the skin. It's that lovely kind of yellow fruit. Definitely a bargain, yeah, absolutely. And I've seen that Rolander's saying that he's been watching Highland Hamish's stuff. For shame, I've got so much to catch up on the old YouTube as well to watch. I was talking to Mac, Campai Planet, and he'd asked me a couple of things, and we'll try to get time to do stuff. And it's been manic. I've just not had any time to even do it. And then today I was doing that filming and that, and then I got back to me, text me yesterday, and I was like, mate, I'm so sorry. This is only the first time I've had time to actually even look at my messages and kind of get back to people. In terms of watching whiskey content, I really need to sit down and indulge myself for a few hours. So that might be tomorrow night's viewing, because I know that he's got some more. And yeah, sure enough, he said that there. He says 3 episodes still to come featuring Tomat and Glen Murray and Royal Brattler. Brilliant. Definitely be watching them. What's it got? Tomatin Distillery Tour. Tomatin, like Kuboken as well. And the team at Tomatin are just lovely people. Big shout out to them. They're just really nice people. Every time I talk to them at shows and stuff, they put up with me, which isn't all you can ask for. And Lowlander saying the same. Went there as well back in the day. We went in, and if you watch part 2, I think it's part 2. Or did I edit it? Is it in? I don't think I've done it. It might be in part 3, and I've not put it up yet. Of the Great North Run series, where I went with my American friend Jack. We go to Tomatin, and he buys a single cask, hand pour. Because they were just really nice people, and they gave him some banging drams, and I couldn't have anything because I was driving. Warm tub me tea. Yeah, like if we're talking about the Kilkerran, yes, I would say so. And according to Good Spirits, it's teaspooned. I'd love to know what the teaspoon is of what. So housekeeping's done. Caught up with all the comments. Gave a shout out to my wonderful Patreon gang from the Black Lodge. And then, shall we talk a wee bit about the news? Will we get into the news? There's been a few bits and pieces. It's been relatively quiet. Big news out of America, I would say, was Jim Beam turning off the taps at their main hub distillery. I think it's in Claremont. That I've been to. That's like the brand home. And it's a massive estate, and it's wonderful. It's Walt Disney of bourbon. And they're not the only ones. We know that Diageo have turned off balcons in Texas. Taninic drinks went dark. We know in Ireland, quite a few have went dark. I think Middleton's went dark for a while. There's too much whiskey. There's too much whiskey now. And I think we've been saying it for a long time. And there's the conversations. Jeff Whiskey's done the video about the whiskey lock, and everybody's discussed it. Roy Aquaviti's talked about it. We know it, and we're seeing the effects in pricing. But I think it's a positive thing. And we can talk about that this evening as well, about what we expect to see in 2026. I think there's some positive opportunities that could come off the back of that. What else have we had? We've had kind of knock-on effect of the budget and spirit duty going up again. Consecutive, I don't know how many that is now, spirit duty going up. It doesn't help. The SWA keeps saying the lobbying. Who are they lobbying? They're not lobbying hard enough. It's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest, for the trade organisation not to be making a dent in it. I feel like there's more that could be done. I think there's stuff that the Scottish government as well could really be pushing it, because it's such a huge factor. Scottish tourism's going like that. It's going up. The amount of people I spoke to when I was up in Scotland just recently, they were saying that. Like, there's a lot of demand, even homegrown tourism. A lot of people are starting to appreciate Scotland who are from Scotland and starting to explore a little bit further afield. Because for the longest time there was a stigma about diddly dee. A lot of diddly dee. You'd watch the Visit Scotland ads and it's like, oh, it's a peat fire and they're all playing chanters and they're all and Highland dancing and that, and it was never something that Scottish people could relate to from the cities and stuff. Kind of looking at it like, well, what about the good live music that we have in Glasgow? Like, it was never part of our scene, whereas now that younger generation as well, who don't drink as much but want a bit more quality, they want to go exploring, they go camping, they go road trips, they go up the Munros. They're doing more, and I think there's a huge missed opportunity. There has been some chat about, oh, the Korean trade deal's been signed and stuff like that. It's not going to make a dent compared to what the local is doing. So that news came up. A couple of single cash releases for the Whisky Exchange came up in the news. Torreveg, it's meant to be excellent. Feedback that I know from people that have tried it, really enjoyed it. Bardstown Bourbon Company, that I visited when I went to Kentucky. Phenomenal place. They've just done a single cask with the Whisky Exchange as well. It's a bit pricey for me. I think it's 150 quid. The stuff's good. It's really good. It's not that good. I can't be paying 150 quid for that, to be honest. But good releases. We're starting to see that. We're also seeing, as I said, price drops across the board as people try and clear out some of their stock. And then the last piece of news, I kind of hummed and hawed about where I was going to talk about this, but I kind of hinted at it with this bottle, and it was, I'm going to put it in inverted commas, the controversy around Ralphie, his latest video, his extras video. Look, Ralphie's a whiskey YouTuber, first and foremost. He sits in his boffy, he gives his unfiltered opinion to camera. That's Ralphie. Ralphie has done that since day dot. He's done over 1,000 episodes plus the extras. Like, no one should be shocked when Ralphie does stuff. Ralphie has said things over the years that I've stepped back and went, hang on a minute, no, I don't agree with that. It's fine. If you've missed this controversy, Ralphie went on and made claims about whiskey's medicinal purpose and how it can help people. It does stuff with germs and stuff, and how it can help dehydrate people a little bit so that they don't go to the toilet, blah, blah, blah. Then he spoke about central economics and banks and all that kind of stuff. Look, Ralphie's allowed to say what he wants. I don't think anyone's going to Ralphie for health advice. I think if someone's feeling ill or someone wants to feel better, they normally go to a doctor or they'll Google some stuff. They're not going to Ralphie for that. I think the reaction to it from quite a few people was a bit overstated. It was a bit kind of like jumping on the bandwagon, let's all have a kick at this. I didn't really know what to say when I seen it. I saw it and I thought, ugh, he's saying. I went to the comments, he was getting corrected by his viewers. His viewers were correcting him, which is fine. That's their dialogue, that's their two-way street. But I didn't feel comfortable with the pile-on. There's people in whiskey, there's people in that whiskey YouTube, Instagram world who've done far worse. And I know they've done far worse. And I'm talking about their actions and the way they treat people and stuff like that. They have no, and then they're jumping on this. So it really annoyed me. It really annoyed me. Hence why I was going to bite my tongue on it. Because I thought, no, I'm not getting involved in any drama. But it just, it's fine. It's fine. There were some people that called it out. I have no issue with them calling it out. I'm not saying you can't call it out. I'm saying there was some other people got involved that, you know, throw stones in glass houses. I even was going to do a segment to camera and try and find a greenhouse today and talk about it in there, just to be really on the nose, Holmes under the hammer style. But I had to address it. It was a big news story this week in the world of whiskey. It's Ralphie. Doesn't excuse it, doesn't make it right, but it's his channel and he'll say what he wants and he'll do what he wants. And if you don't agree with it, leave a comment or don't watch it and move on. I really don't think he's at the level of when Trump was telling people to like drink bleach or whatever, or the lights inside will kill the COVID. Like, so that's my 2 cents on it. This is obviously a whiskey channel. It's Saturday Night Drams. I would love to know what your thoughts on it. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. I really don't care that much. I just didn't like the pile-on. I thought it wasn't very nice to see. And it felt like everybody was having a wee kick at somebody because the opportunity was there. There was stuff last year that people could have really kicked a few people away. Didn't see them kicking it. So, aye, there's my whiskey rant. It's been a while since that. Black Lodge Rambles. Remember I made a video a couple of years ago and I never posted it, thank God. And I went to town on a couple of people. Because if you've not got anything nice to say, it's better than not to say anything at all. Right, back through, where are we at? Frank's just opened and poured a Daft Milk 2012 summer batch that I brought back from Glasgow Whisky Festival. Fantastic, aye. That's the stuff. Into the good stuff. And that's what I was thinking tonight. I want to open some good stuff, some good drams. Olander's saying, definitely noticed the tourism walk through Royal Mile. It's always full of tourists year round when it used to be quiet in the winter and early springtime. It's huge now. Mate, I noticed it as well. Even Glasgow, which gets some tourism but compared to the Edinburgh stuff. But when you're talking to people outside Glasgow, so for context, let's go off on a tangent. A couple of videos will be coming out. Patreon, the patrons got one of me during the Christmas break when I was in Dunoon. I've never been to Dunoon. And if you don't know where Dunoon is, it's West Coast, it's on the loch, it's just off the Holy Loch, the Clyde Estuary and Loch Long. And you get a boat, you can drive from Glasgow to it, but it takes 3.5 hours round. Or you go through Gourock, straight down, past Greenock, past Gourock, and then you get a wee car ferry or passenger ferry across the water to Dunoon. The Titan, Thomas Lipton, had a holiday home there and stuff like that. No, I always fancied it just to go and see what it was like. And we stayed in a lovely little holiday park and it was fantastic. But everybody's doing that sort of thing now. Like, so many people are just like, right, let's get away, let's go somewhere in Scotland. But a lot of tourism, TikTok and whatever. And I also think the whole situation in the States is driving people, from the States coming across, but also people that maybe were going to go to the States aren't going to the States now. And they're just looking for, like, adventure trips where they can put their money. And Scotland is just shooting up the rankings. Alan bought the Bardstown High Wheat and some deal over Crimbo. That's a good one. The Bardstown whiskey's great. It's just 150 quid. It's just a bit for a single cask. Frank's saying he got a bit... Where is it? He's saying... Got Ralphie Rant Tires, stopped watching his videos a couple of years ago. Exactly. And as Hamish says, if you disagree with it, just quietly unsubscribe and watch other content. And I think, and it's just... I don't know if we're in an echo chamber here, but he always rants about nonsense. Anyone who seriously puts any weight in his views outside the whiskey should get a grip. Exactly. And I just didn't like to see people jumping on it, because nobody needs that. Nobody needs the internet. Ralphie can handle it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Ralphie doesn't have a thick skin or that, but come on, man. A lot of it was just a bit signalling. Tony. Back to important matters. Holding my first Rabbie Burns dinner in 2 weeks. Try to pick out the dram for the whiskey sauce and the toast. Oh, that's a good question for the group in here, and even anybody on catch up. Definitely leave in the comments what dram would you pick for a whiskey sauce for the haggis and the neeps and the tatties, and for the toast. It needs to be something kind of rich to cut through. I think the haggis is quite fatty and it's peppery and it's. And if it's got a sauce, I don't know. Definitely something cast strength, I would say. Blow their socks off. Just poured a peated sample from Arna Merkin. It was in my wife's driver's drams. Really good. I'd forgotten it was peated at 57.1. I was surprised when I poured that. Aye, it's good, man. It is good. Bowman saying, I watch many different whiskey tubers and rarely agree 100% with them, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. Exactly, it's a platform. It is a platform, and as we've been saying, happy to ignore his ramblings right up until he starts his really unpleasant thin-veiled banking conspiracy stuff. Exactly. When he does, that's some of the stuff that I've not agreed with, where I'm like, my day job and that, I work with massive companies. And some of the conspiracy stuff, look, there is no, 99% of the time, there is no conspiracy. Because it's too much effort. People are just people at the end of the day. And the effort and mechanisms to keep up with some of these, to do the conspiracy, nobody cares. Let me see. That's Frank saying, Dunoon Ferry is a good option when you leave Kintyre via the Cow Ferry instead of the Grand Tour via Inverary and Loch Lomond. Exactly. Just get across and then you're straight down. It's so much easier. Obviously, if you want to do that drive and it's beautiful and whatever, but it's such a great wee getaway spot. Hamish's Dramsy's down for Burnley, Illicit Still, Glenlivet, Douglas Lang, Timmery Beastie, Glenrivers, Loch Lear, and then with Glen Scotia Victoriana. Brilliant. And then Glenn's in. Evening, Glenn. Happy New Year, mate. Don't kill me, but I used Arna Merkin in last year's whiskey sauce. Nah, not at all. Perhaps you're part of the conspiracy by saying there's no conspiracy.
But if I ever see you nosing it like this, I'll kill you.
So I say that, Wanda. Or...
Who wants a cortado? Gracias. El Bosch.
Better to be a Bosch head, you know? Why not? So that's the news. That's me had my wee rant about that. Definitely, if you're watching and catch up or whatever, let us know your thoughts on those news segments. Now, we are talking about the Great Reset 2026 and what that's going to mean in the world of whiskey. And I think, as we touched on, with taxation going up and bottles going up and taps being turned off because there's too much whiskey, what can we expect this year? And I think what we can expect is more independent bottling, better whiskey at better prices. I think cask selection's going there. I think the boom and bust of the whiskey investment side of casks hopefully starting to tail off as well, because people have realised, can I get rid of these? Nobody wants them at these prices. I And I think there will be some smaller independent bottlers that are going to be left holding, and they're having to cut their losses at some point. I've noticed a few of kind of the releases have slowed right down. Whereas I've noticed others have picked up and are just churning out good after good after good. I think if you've got in at the right time, it's definitely a buyer's market in terms of casks, from what I've been told. So I think that's a really big positive. I think it's so encouraging that there's going to be more good whiskey out there at a better price for drinkers, and it's going to be picked up. As I mentioned about that investment stuff, I think there is... I forgot to take that conspiracy comment off the screen. And I've just seen Lander's just saying... Yes, exactly. You're talking about the Great Reset. This confirms that you're part of the deep state conspiracy. It's my conspiracy. I'm at the centre of it all. I may look like the Lord Haw-Haw. It's just feeding out the information. But I think it's really encouraging. I think that's a positive. I think what was really encouraging about 2025 is that it was a positive year on the most part, I would say. When I was speaking to people in Glasgow at the festival, speaking to people at the London Whisky Festival, Whisky Show, speaking to people in shops and that, there was a bit of a downturn in terms of retail sales, but I found the community, the whisky community, kind of got a bit of life back into it. I found that the brands, the ambassadors and what you were seeing online had a bit more life to it. I found that people that were in it to try and maybe make a quick buck or jump on a bandwagon kind of tailed off, disappeared a bit. I think you're finding it at auctions. As I mentioned at the start, I won that Glengoyne. I only picked that Glengoyne because I thought I was going to win some other stuff. The auction market's still really competitive for good drinkers, because I think there's still a lot of us drinking and wanting value. You're no seeing... I'm seeing bottles sit on the shelf a lot longer as well. I'm seeing bottles being able to pick up on the shelves that you could never have dreamed of the last couple of years. But in a good way, where you can go in and pick them up and then you don't feel guilty about opening them because they're there to be drank. I know that the Dram Face, the live, I've only managed to watch like 40 minutes of it so far. But they were talking about that. There was a comment in about like any bottles that have been sitting on your shelf, you've been waiting, that you've opened finally. I think you're seeing more of that. I think we're not scared to open scarce bottles anymore. So it's a great time to kind of reset how we're going to do it. Now, I'm going to pour myself a different dram, and the reason I'm kind of stopping there is I've got my notes. I'd written notes about the order of stuff I was going to talk in, and they're on my phone, and my phone's having to balance. It's having to balance the it's having to balance this camera the way it's sat. So I'm going to take another dram. I'm not going to take that peated one yet. Went the long way round. Worth it in the end. I'm going to have a pour of this just because it's bourbon again. Before I get into the other stuff, because the other stuff's peated and sherried. Now, I know I'm talking about scarcities getting easier on that. I know these are still hard to come by. I hope that more people are getting a hold of these. This is phenomenal. The cask strength is always good. They just, again, the makeup of it is just, it's getting so good. This is an absolute delight. If you can get a bottle of it, do it. Don't overpay for it, but it is a banging bottle. Right, let me just try and find a way of accommodating that. Will that do that? And go that like that, and I can get my phone and get to my points that I was making. There we go. Right, so how have I done? Let me see. Let's see if I remember what I was going to talk about. I've no spoke about the bottles I received at Christmas, so I'll come on to that in a minute. And I never, in the news segment, I forgot to mention the crackdown on creators, the alcohol creators. So we can do that in the 2026 stuff as well. But basically, year ahead predictions. As I said, I think we're going to see more quality IB. And I saw some comments that I'm just going to go back to. Bowman saying, I've always been an IB fan, but I'll be looking at them even more closely this year. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think there'll be new independents will pop up. We'll take advantage of it. But I think there should just be more liquid and more. The price is kind of starting to come back down and stabilise a wee bit. But still support the distilleries in that, by all means. It's great. Just that volume bit drying in my mouth. The jump in percentage from like whatever I think Living Souls is like 48, 46. Oh, Alan said, I do think things will come back to us with the slowdown. I always think people think things will come back to us price-wise quicker than reality. Might see more discounted stuff, reductions RRP. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to be like a 70 jump down to 50 overnight by any means, because we saw some brands come up. I think some will be able to do it a lot quicker than others. Your big producers, whereas smaller ones, it'll take a bit of time because they still have to make their money. Still got to kind of be accountable. But it's definitely, I think it's more encouraging that way. And then, where were we at? Scottish Mist saying IBs were definitely my radar. Last two purchases of IBs and received 2 over the Christmas. Little Brown Dog Highlands Park 2014 and a Leaf Vault Stowshire. Exactly, and it's as long as you've got good whiskey shops now at that time of year, if they're near you, people can go in and just ask, like, my partner, my brother, my sister, whatever, my dad, my mum likes whiskey. What do they like? Right, can you show me an independent bottle that they won't have? There you go. 40, 50 quid. They'll be happy as Larry with it. And then Lowlander saying that Bourbon Mature Springbank 12 is a bang. It's great. Alan agreeing. And then have tried that Springbank 12 released during Glasgow. Forgot to buy a bottle. First proper Springbank 12-year-old I'm aware of. Yeah, it's just really, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier, John. The Springbank, the Canheads one as well coming out. I think that's bourbon as well. And Ian saying that 12 cask strength's excellent. Did a side by side with a fully bourbon 500 proof, and it was interesting to see the difference the extra 7 years in the cask made. The quality is getting better and better in these. Sometimes it can be off a wee bit because it's such a high bar, and I think we've had that before. I've ranted and raved about these. Got a few of the other ones up there, the cask strengths, and I take my time with them because we're talking about when you keep bottles, but definitely I prefer when it's more bourbon heavy than the sherry and the cask strength. I'm pretty sure. That's what I've said before. I really should keep note of everything that I like. But a lot of people don't like that 5-year-old 100 proof that came out. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about, Ian. But it's 5-year-old 100 proof. I don't know what people expect. I've said it time and time again. And Tony's saying, by the way, getting haggis in the USA is freaking expensive. Oh, I can imagine it. Can you not get... Surely, I know you'll be wanting Scottish stuff, but surely you can get the Scottish butchers in the States that do something similar. Because I always think like haggis tastes like haggis because of the spices and the oats. Like when I have I've had veggie haggis and I've had whatever, it just tastes like haggis to me. So we've cleared the decks as usual with the comments. So my years ahead prediction, I've got here in bullet points: less wank. And by that I mean the showiness, the expensive bottlings, the oh look at me, I've got this of it, of whiskey. I would like to see a little bit less of. There's a whole range not in whiskey per se, but in the alcohol world of, oh, look at this, and it's so fancy, and it's this and it's that, and you see it on Instagram, and you see it on TikTok, and you see it on you don't see it so much on YouTube, if I'm honest, thankfully, but they play up to it, and I think there's a responsibility to not indulge in it, to just kind of maintain a little bit of it, and then after that I've got authenticity. I put as a note for the reset in 2025. I think in 2026, sorry, God, if only we could go back in time. I think my point in authenticity and less wank is around, I've said it, I did a video ages ago about can you trust the whiskey influencers and all that. I'm not fighting a fight for anybody. I'll just keep doing what I do, and any of you that have met me will hopefully know that I should be relatively the same in real life as I am here. Maybe sometimes I've not had the chance to properly engage with you because it's been passing at a festival or something like that, but I always like to try and think that I have the time and I'm nothing if not honest, purely because I'm too busy to keep up any lies. I never understand people that do that. It's great, you must be sociopaths, but I've got too much going on and I'd get caught up in a lie too easily. And I think that with whiskey is really important as well. There's so many people I see now who post stuff and do stuff, and I've not seen them buy a bottle or open a bottle in a long time. I started unfollowing some people on Instagram because I was like, hold on a minute. What do you mean you've got 121,000 followers for your whiskey content, and all it is product shots with PR, press releases, and you get 100 likes? I'm like, nah, man, I'm contributing to this, so I'm just going to take myself away from that and just kind of get back to the basics of why I'm doing this, why I enjoy it, why I enjoy the community. I think it's so important to kind of reset that, no go chasing after stuff. I think we've seen this year some creators call that out as well, of like, why am I doing this? What am I expecting? What's my expectations? And I think that's coming back to Lowlander's point from earlier about the idea of what we're doing. I always say we as if there's loads of people involved in this channel. What am I doing? What's my plans, my whiskey plans this year for the channel and stuff? And I've it's coming to the end, it's in the end of my notes here, but part of it is I'm like, do I continue to make frequent content and try and put out? I put out a lot of videos last year. Let me pull it up. I put this on a wee end year summary for my patrons. Because again, that's the community that I'm like, they give me so much and I put so much back in. But it was a wee stat about the year. And it's already out of date. Some stuff's went and changed since I pulled the stats. But last year in 2025, I did 90 videos in total. 90 videos. That's nearly like 2 a week. 63 of those were like Drams on the Run, or For Me or No For Me, or the March Malt Madness videos. 3 of them were podcasts, episodes. So the 2-parter with Mac and the one with Marcos. And then 24 live streams last year. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time to put into something if you're trying to get something out of it. And I did that because I wanted to do it. I wanted to push myself and try. I'm just keep looking at stats. There was over 5,700 hours of watching me, which is mental. Me talking about stuff. It's over 240 days, consecutive days, just me talking a load of pish. And then the average view duration for those videos, and I'm not sure if this stat took into account live streams and stuff, but I think it might have, was just under 6 minutes a video, which is really good for this sort of content. The best videos were the best video performing last year, and it must be the time of year because this is always when the best video is, but was my Whiskey of the Year that I put out in December. That was the best performing video for the year. Johnny Walker Black Label, for me, no for me. Number 2. The first part of the Great North Run, 700 miles, 3 cities one, where I went up to Dornoch, and Guinness, the Guinness whiskey one that I made, for me or no for me. They were my 4 best ones. March Malt Madness, which was the biggest endeavour I did last year, if I'm honest. 31 videos in 31 days, back to back. Barely scratched. Did nothing. I don't know if it's people don't care about that sort of content or whatever, but I did it and I learned from it. Did I enjoy it in the end? Probably no. I found it a bit too boring for myself, and I was like, well, if I'm finding this boring, how am I expecting anybody else to watch it? But the reason I kind of wanted to share those stats was because it comes into authenticity and do you care about why you're doing it? And I do. I enjoy the making. I enjoy this. I enjoy going out with the cameras and the hassle and trying to come up with ideas and something that I would want to watch. And I think you need to ask yourself when you're engaging with social media influencers or whatever, why are you following them? Are you enjoying it? Why are they doing it? Are they enjoying it? And you kind of see that dip and lull. And the ones that keep going are the ones that it's because it's a joint passion. They enjoy the whiskey. They enjoy the making. If they're not enjoying making and they step back, fair play to them. If they're not enjoying the whiskey and they're still making the stuff, it shines. You can tell. So that's kind of the Great Reset I think we're going to see in 2026. I think we're going to see a bit more of that. Roy had mentioned it on a VPub when they were talking about the Oswas and how they were trying to get more people involved, and I think it would have been before the actual Oswas themselves this year. I remember listening to it when I was on holiday. I was walking up a hill. I remember exactly where I was, and they were getting more and more people, and there was people dropping out, and they see it because they've got the list of contributors, and then they look and these people haven't posted anything for a year, so they get knocked out. But then there's these new people coming in, and it kind of shifts and it goes. And that's the kind of ebb, and I think 2026 offers a great opportunity for some channels to reset and kind of go, right, I want to do this. And it also offers an opportunity for viewers to go, right, what do I want from content this year? And the next thing I put was more frugal. I think we're going to see in 2026 everybody be a bit more frugal. I think the world has been a bit tight without going on the New World Order kind of conspiracy theory lowlander. Stuff's happening out there that's mental every day. And we're seeing cost of living's not getting any easier for anybody. We're starting to see what we're buying reduce massively. I think I don't think many of us would say we've bought loads of whiskey in 2025 compared to 2024 or before. And I don't think 2026 is going to be here for that. And I think that authenticity as well applies to whiskey makers. And we're seeing at the tail end of the year, the ones that have kind of started shooting up are the ones that are authentic and are giving good stuff. And I think you've seen it in people's selection of whiskey of the years. Ralphie picked Ardnahoe. Roy picked the Edredor Signatory. People were picking Glasgow. People were picking... I picked Ardnamurchan. There's a theme of these types of makers and the stuff that's going out. And so I think that's really interesting. And I think that more frugal in the next bit is work harder. Is the whiskey makers and brands are going to have to work harder to get your money. The same way that us making content are going to have to work a wee bit harder to keep your attention. That's the main thing. I want to make videos that people want to watch. Did that whole malt madness stuff. Nobody wanted to watch it. And then I enjoyed doing it. I learned from it from that point of view, but did I enjoy the actual stuff? Not really. And so I think that's a huge thing that we're going to see in 2026 is this shift and this reset. And it's funny because brands have started to do it. Big brands have started to reset and they've kind of stop going after a more, how can I put it, more diverse crowd from what they traditionally would go after. They were going after young people, they were going after young women, with malt whiskey brands, when just by the science, the taste buds and stuff, people are just not, when you're young, you're no into it. You do get people who are really young who enjoy whiskey, but they're few and far between for a reason. That they're unexpected, because the way your taste buds work and the way flavour works, it's more vibrant when you're younger and it's more intense, and as you get older it dulls, and hence why you can start to pick out stuff in these notes. I do have a whole thing I read about it. I'm not going to try and do a Ralphie rant or anything on that, but they've now started to readjust and go, right, hang on a minute, we need to shift bottles. Who's buying it now? Let's talk to them. And so I think it's an interesting play. It doesn't exclude women. That's not what I'm saying. My point was, I saw brands going after like young groups of women and try to sell it as cocktail mixer, and it's like, what are you doing? They're not interested in it. They don't like how it tastes. That's not the way you overcome. If you want to introduce young women to it, introduce them to the experience, introduce them to the ritual of whiskey, and get them bought into it that way. No one's they don't drink gin neat. Do you know what I mean? They don't drink vodka neat. They don't. Anyway, I'm digging myself a hole. Don't want people coming after me for that. That's not what I'm saying. But the point is, I think everybody's going to have to work harder next year to part people with the money for their drams, which I think is really good. I think that's an encouraging sign. So that kind of leads me into the channel plans. New logo. I've got a new logo that I spent a lot of time on, updated everything, and then noticed that I'd knocked it out of sync after updating everything. So I've went back and done it. You can see it in that corner right there. I've tried to go for something that I can kind of change the colour of, different versions of it. So when it's against a light background, the white is black and blah blah blah. The Glencairn was just getting, it was too obvious. It was always meant to be just like a temporary thing, and it stood out a bit, but no one really knew what it did. And I know a couple of you in the Patreon, when I updated it, asked, is there a meaning behind it? And so there is a wee meaning behind it. It's a really, when I said less wank, this was done in 2025, so I'm going to let myself a wee bit. The first curve, if you follow it all the way around, that signifies, I can't believe I'm saying these words, that signifies like the camera lens, right, and the content creation, focusing in on the second bit, which is the curve, which is the community, right, the whiskey world that we all love and indulge, and then the liquid itself is the whiskey and the makers, and that's it. And yes, I know I said 2026 less wank, this was done 2025, but also as a happy byproduct, if you kind of tilt your head and squint a wee bit, it looks like a thistle, which was a happy accident as well. So that was part of the reset. Did that, updated the branding. I need to get new cards and all the usual stuff made for that. I need to update the website. That's on my very long list of things to do. But I'm positive going into 2026. I'll still be here. I'll still be making stuff that I really enjoy doing. I've still got a bit more to talk about, but I'm going to jump back up to the comments and get in amongst that, because I've seen the ads popping up. Where are we at? Tony was getting haggis. Ian, yes, we'll talk about the 100%. So bourbon, yeah, I don't like that 100% proof 5-year-old Springbank. I think I did it on a stream with a 10-year-old, and I found it brought out stuff in both of them if you did a wee head-to-head with it. So against the 12, I might need to try that myself. And then Lowlander was saying that he'd heard a rumour that Springbank plan on building the age statement in the 100 proof to a 10-year-old eventually. As I say, it's just a rumour that I heard in the pub, so who knows? Why not? And then Meep and Lowlander were saying to Tony, isn't haggis banned in the USA? Adrian's in, evening Adrian. And then he said, yes, I ordered it from a US butcher. Fair enough, no wonder. Correct, any haggis made with lungs is banned. Some Scottish vendors make a canned US export. Sir Chanter, new name, how you doing, mate? Hello, I watch your videos all the time. It's first live I've joined. Your whiskey trip videos are really fun to watch. Also love the supermarket ones. Those supermarket ones are the bane of my life, mate. But I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I've still got, as I said, part 3 of the Great North Run to put up. When I come back to my points, I've got a lot of content. I just need to put in one stupidly long video, and I'm going to put up Drams on the Run, unfiltered or something like. I'm just going to put it all up. Scottish Miss saying the guys at Whiskey Stories podcast from Diggers Bar do like a wanky tasting note though, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with a wanky tasting note, and I can say friend of the channel Pete from Woven. Woven put out a lovely piece about the conversation around whiskey, and I think that's what I was talking about in 2026. We're going to see more of, about authenticity and less wank, about maybe no shutting people down when they say a whiskey tastes smooth, and maybe no always having to jump to like super engaged tasting notes. I always just tell people when they do it, personally, who are coming into whiskey, I say just shut your eyes, have a sip. First sip's for free, get used to the alcohol. Second sip, what do you think about? What's the first thing you think about? And that's the right answer. Unless you're my pal Ben, who we went to Glasgow Whisky Festival with, and he had the whole cast strength, and he said like a chowder, a fishy chowder. I've never been so like angry. Like no. Tell me, on the whole cast strength, do you get chowder? Because that's a really new one for me. Tony's saying most of his family deer hunt, so I put in a request for homemade royal haggis, but I figured it was safe to order. Oh, that would have been phenomenal stuff. And Glenn saying, confession, driving a car in the UK is all backwards, and I accidentally ran over a haggis. I brought it home and froze it, so I'm all set for Burns supper. God. I was going to make a joke about it being like somebody's hedgehog or something like that, but I recently saw someone hype up the new Bowmore releases, and I felt like nauseous at how much it felt like a commercial. I've been spoiled by real honest content on YouTube by some. Yeah, and I think we need to make that's what I'm saying, we need to make a decision if like we want to continue to engage with it or not. But and Lowlander, of course, bringing the tone down. At first I thought you meant, listen, that's your New Year's resolution. I was about to say, keep that sort of personal activity yourself rather than discuss that in a live stream. Of course, mate, of course. And there's Alan, exactly, always got to lower the tone. John saying, what annoys me is when a whiskey influencer gives tasting notes in a sealed bottle. You know, they're just repeating what the distillery wants them to say, very fake. Exactly. And I think, and Sir Hunter's saying that, I think it makes it easier to spot. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to bash or that. I'm just saying what I think the Great Reset of 2026 in whiskey, for me, should look like. There's people whose opinions I trust and I feel are valid. Doesn't mean that when they say they like something, I'm going to like it. No, of course not. But I think you can kind of tell there's an authenticity to it. There is conflicts of sorts that come up where maybe somebody's done something with a distillery and then they're saying this stuff's lovely a month later. It can happen, but a lot of the time people will do stuff if they get invited to that, because right, we'll try it and it's an opportunity, and most of the time if you don't like it you can kind of say it, or you just don't say anything and you just don't put the content out. But then it gets a bit funny, and by that I mean like I've never had something where I've not put it out. I got invited to one last year that I went to, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was eye-opening, the experience, but I noticed someone that I was with never put it out, and that's fine, absolutely fine by me. But I've also been invited to stuff and went, I'm fully transparent, I've been invited, I've went to this, really enjoyed myself, praised it, but then also clocked some people around me, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? You don't seem to be enjoying any of this. So it's a bit of a strange one. Good, Alan. You don't want to know who they are, honestly. Less hassle. Just get your back up. It makes me very reverent. I am jolly. And yeah, most of them are on Instagram because it's quick and easy to do, mate, to be fair. And then what's this? I love Roy and find him very knowledgeable, but his voice is very soothing for a Thursday night, I feel. And I rarely make it through a live VPub. Oh, Roy's honestly the Parky of live streaming. He's so good at it. And I feel like I blow smoke up his ass when I see this stuff. It's no easy doing this, and it takes a lot of rhythm. And the worst part is when I talk to friends and family about it, and they're like, how do you do it? I think there's an innate Glaswegianness / Scottishness where you can just keep talking about stuff. But if I go quiet, it's just dead air. And I'm terrible at scripts. I'm terrible with scripts and try to follow a script. Even the notes and stuff. I do the notes just so I can stay on point and circle back. Roy's live streams are just a joy to watch. Like, they're so well done. They're so well done. And like last year, got to guest host one. And thank goodness for Pete from Woven, from Mac from Campi Planet, and from Billy Abbott from the Whiskey Exchange for accepting my invitation to join me. Because I was like, I have no idea how I can do this myself with them. Even though I can do it on this, just the kind of the pressure of like the standard that guy sets. Phenomenal job, phenomenal. And I'm saying the VPubs, like, they're especially on a Thursday night and a school night. But that's what the catch ups for. So it's great. He was saying, anyway, it has to start now. Circle the wagons, open your bottles, avoid the flippers and the bluffers. I'm on the sub 100 bottles and the blends. Exactly, mate. Okay, there we go. You start the army, mate. I'll be behind you. I'm joining you. Surge Hunter, you know you promised yourself to buy less whiskey next year. 10 days in, already 18 new bottles. My goodness. What have you picked up? How have you managed that? Oh, you make me feel good about myself. This year, I've bought two bottles. And one of them was a kind of happy accident because of the auction thing. But Richard's saying 50 quid a bottle is my happy place with 2 or 3 more expensive bottles a year. Exactly. I think at 50 quid now, you're getting good whiskey. And then there's bottles that you go a wee bit higher for. Some age statements and that. We were talking about that 30-year-old Loch Lomond grain that's coming out from Cadenhead. 120, 130 quid. You're kind of like, alright, maybe I'll go for that at a push. But outside that, it's a good bottle split. That's one where you go, right, a couple of mates, fancy going in on this. Gordon's in. Evening, mate. Evening, sorry, I'm so behind in the chat. I don't know when these comments are at. I'm just kind of working through. Anybody doesn't know, Gordon, Rick Hill Burn, fantastic hats. The hats it's not been off my head. It's actually the intro for this. I'm wearing the hat. The hat is right there. Look at that. Rick Hill Burn. Get on Instagram. Get to the site. Buy them. Phenomenal photographer, Gordon. Again, another one I'm just blowing smoke up. But you know what? 2026, Great Reset. Support each other. Lift people up. If you think people are doing a good job, let's shout to the rooftops. I think that's absolutely what we need to do. All that, no doom and gloom that I've just spoke about the other side of it. We don't need that. We don't need to be talking about that. We can be talking about the good stuff. Let's see. Scottish Mist saying, oh, it's jumped. It's jumped. Where are we at? Here we go. Try to buy less, but a bottle of Bunnahabhain. I can't even pronounce that. The joy of being west of Scotland, Glaswegian, and nobody knows to speak native language on auction, and I must have the name of one of our cats. How, like, Scottish Mist, how do you pronounce it? Give me it phonetically. Don't just write it in caps. It's like a running joke. Lowland are saying, at first I thought your new logo looked like Glasgow Airport logo, but has had a few too many drams and toppled over. It also worried me that when after I'd done it all, it looked like the Glasgow logo for Glasgow Distillery as well. But I'm like, look, it's what it is. It's mine now, so I can do it. And if it makes people when they fly into Glasgow Airport think of Drinks Whiskey, even better. Even better. I'm in the Netherlands and liquor above 20% has to be sold in a separate liquor store. I always get amazed looking around UK supermarkets what they have, and now I can do it remotely. Exactly, I think a lot of people really enjoy those videos. Thompson Brothers said that they have some youngish Bowmore on the way soon, which I'll definitely be looking to pick up. Drinks Whiskey. Yeah, Adrian, apparently there's a ton. There was a wave. I think we spoke about this last year. There was a wave of, I don't want to say cheap, but good value Bowmore casks onto the market. So that's really positive, I think. And then I see some chat about the Bowmore stuff. Not the biggest Bowmore fan myself, but tried some at the distillery and been neutered and it really cheap. Yeah, but that happens. Dalmore's the same. Dalmore's phenomenal. Like, before it gets coloured and stuff like that. Just catching up here. Dan's in, just jumping in to say Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Dan. We'll catch you all show on Monday at work. Well, Dan, Happy New Year if you're in or out. But when you listen to this and catch up, I hope your Monday's going fantastic for you. Mike's done 4 bottles this year. Frank's saying, I've been in the V pub studio doing a live stream. Roy doesn't use any notes, haven't seen any, just kind of goes with the flow in the subject and the bottles as marks. Aye, because he did. But that's the thing. Normally I wouldn't have notes. It was just because of the nature of tonight. But as long as you've got kind of prompts, that's why I have the drams to the side as well, because the drams give me a kind of reset point. Because when I kind of check my glass, I check the time, I check how the chat's going. I just like to have something to guide it. Guide it through it. But he's what he's done is phenomenal. Alan saying 0 bottles for the year, however, December. Is that because of the sales, Alan? Is that what it was? And then Ian, 0 bottles bought yet this year, but first week in 54, but I've not bought 1 or 2 or 5. Ian, I'm not going to encourage you to break that. And then the Surge Hunter, 10 auction wins from December, 2 Waterfords, 4 Kilkerran 16s, Springbank 12, Castret, Brute Laddie, Isla Barley, Long Road Red Pinot. Brilliant. What Waterfords were they though? Was it the Cuvée? A lot of the Waterfords are, for me, it was such a shame what happened with that distillery, to be honest. Too much, too soon. Far too much, too soon. I know that was the whole point of the tale on that, but just... Petehead Frank, he's 3 bottles so far this year. Brilliant. Let's see. How many bottles yet this year? Nearly bought. Sorry. I just said I can't stop talking because otherwise it's dead air, and then I just went silent. Might be saying picked up single Cask Nation Bowmore 21 and it's excellent stuff. Aye, they're really good as well. Single Cask Nation, and Alan's backing that up. They are really good. I think it's more, and I've just seen once this comment comes in from Meep Meep. There we go. My whiskey cupboard is full, so finishing off some mystery malts tonight to make some space. Yeah, exactly. It is a bit kind of, for me, there is a period where I'm kind of going, right, I'm going to clear the decks a wee bit, and so I've been trying to get through them, more and more, and finish off bottles. But I always keep reaching for the same stuff. Like even tonight, I was looking at the shelves. Oh, these shelves here are pretty. Let's go. I need to do I could probably do a bottle collection tour that's not a clean up one, but these are Springbank / Mitchell, right? Kilkerran, Springbanks, whatever. Then Ardners are there. Then Thompson Brothers collection. i.e. just IBs, their own Donlock stuff and mystery malts, and then North Star. Right, so that's the top shelf, and then below there's a load of SMWS stuff here, blends, and then just a whole selection of stuff, and then below that more, and then stuff below that is boxed. And I kind of look and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to get, and a lot of the times I end up just picking the same kind of stuff like that. So I'm trying to get more variety in what I'm drinking. Tell you what, I've only done 2 drams tonight after an hour and a half. New year, new me. So good, so good. Serge Hunter replying to what I asked about the Waterfords. Ballycavan, Ballyroe. My favourite Waterford was the Luna 1.1. Yeah, the Luna was great. Just too much too soon. Dan's one of my whiskey resolutions for the year. Someone born in Ireland to get a few more Irish drams. Already picked up something from Shot Cross McConnell's and Copeland. I find the worst thing is when you go to Ireland is the price of the whiskey in bars. Well, I'm talking about when you go to Dingle and places like this in Dublin. It's too expensive. Nobody's drinking it because it's too expensive. Dick Max is a good selection in Dingle, but you go to the other bars. I got absolutely robbed a couple of years ago. My own fault for asking for a red spot, but God almighty. So I'm the same. It's on my list. I'm going to come back to my notes about like the reset, what we're going to be doing next year. Ireland's on the hit list. Let me see. Here we go. Talking about the mystery malts here, your batches. Let's see. I've done well. Batch 1, it says Donut 5-year-old. Batch 2, Tormore 17. Batch 3, Speyside 27. And batch 5, a Ben Nevis 12. Fantastic. What a lineup that is. The ones that we ended up with were... So I had bought my own ones, which I've done. And I've had I got the Klein Leash. I got the Glasgow 4. And I got Torabeg, which I did live on stream, blind. And I got the... What was it? The wine cask, red wine finish. Oh, it'll come back to me in a minute. It's no Longmorn. It is... It's escaping me right now. It will come back to me. It was delicious. But we'd kept a bottle each. We did a bottle split, 4 of us, and we bought one of each batch and we opened it just before Christmas. And I got the Glenwivis Sherry, which was alright. We got Dornock 5. We got a Taninic, which was delicious. And then we got the Kalila that I have here. So can't complain with that. Had really wanted a Benrinnes or a Gary, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So it was great. And then Gordon saying, yeah, Monday Posy, great sentiment for the year ahead. Exactly, mate. You just got to, you get what you put in, don't you? Mike said, I've not been impressed with SMWS in recent years. I think there's been a bit too much. They flooded the market with a lot of young stuff, really unfortunate, and bumped their prices up. I think they're another one that we'll see start to come down a wee bit. But they've got shareholders to appease. My membership lapsed November 30th. I don't think I bought. I think I bought. Actually, I was telling a lie. I did buy a bottle. I've got a bottle on the shelf there somewhere that's in a bourbon or American whiskey that was on sale. I got for like 35 quid. Cash strength, and I was like, give me that. Scotch was saying this year will be more about experiences. Have the science of whiskey. That'll be good fun. The festival SWG3 in Glasgow. Yep, that's on the 24th. An overnight stay in Rassie before February. Fantastic. That's what. Load it up. Load up the fun. And then Gordon's asking if anybody's had that Bowmore for Living Souls. Mate, I've not. We were talking about it earlier because I've got. If we can try and let me try and See if I can switch back to dram cam. Is dram cam going to work? Let's go. There we go. I've not tried that Bowmore, mate. We were talking about. What we have tried is this Lagmore, which is Ballindalloch, and it is delicious. It's fantastic. First fill bourbon. It's time for another dram. I'm going to open this Westland. So, as you can see, 5 malt, Marsala, 7 years, 53.8%, single cask, 33 quid. Like, that's just stupid. It was 93. So, we'll see if this is a bargain or if this is an absolute dummy that I've been sold. Let me keep seeing what the chat's saying. Sir Chanter was saying to Gordon, singing its praises earlier. Found it very tasty. I wish I'd just bought it. I just never knew. It's one of those ones where you kind of sit in the fence when it came out. I was thinking of Donnock. It was good Donnock. Just it was Highland Mezcal on the nose. You expect. I love Donnock single malts because everyone's an adventure. You need to pour it in a glass and you leave it, and it just stuff's going on. The one up there I've opened recently as well. It's just brilliant. They're just so excited for what they're doing up there. So excited. Amy's saying, laughing regarding the mystery malts. Bought one in Inverness at Christmas. Wolfburn 9-year-old. Opened it and shared it with the guy in the shop. I'll use it for a tasting in March. I'm off. All good. Exactly. But I think this release, there's still bottles going. This was their biggest release, and the selection was like probably less chance of getting something you're not going to be into than something that you will be into, if that makes sense. Wait, how's this? Is this a screw top? I can't get this opened. Is that how they're selling them? Nobody can open them. Is this when I cut away to something? Because I'm going to have to make a really... There we go. I thought I was going to have to make a really big constipated face. Right, we got a different glass for this. A colour on it. So Marsala cask, finishing cask, 5 malt barley, 7-year-old, Washington, USA. Bought blind, bought just because that price reduction kind of made me go, right. I think it's still available online at the Whisky Exchange, so if this is a positive experience, guys, definitely jump on it. Very sherried, very sherried. Very almost kind of cola-y, syrupy on the nose, which you would expect. Lovely mouthfeel, really rich. I was going to say unctuous, less wank. Just really rich, chewy, meaty, like coats the palate. I'm not one for legs and all that pish, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I don't think I can even punch in. It's not really going to show you. It's just coats the glass. That's only going to get better as well. Now it's American single malt whiskey. It's like a syrupy bourbon in the best possible way. Like the Marsala cask is doing so much, the finishing in that is so Moorish as well. There's the sweetness. Guys, I'm gonna find that link and I'm gonna stick this in the chat. See if it's still available. If it's no, then sorry. I think it might already be got. No, that's the wrong link. Let's know that. Can I find it? Too many pop-ups on the screen. Is it sold it? Aye, it's gone for online. Oh well. Is it definitely gone? Definitely gone. That was very free good. It's ridiculous. Price. Aye, it's gone. It is gone. If you're in London, you get a chance, I would definitely pop in store because we'll still have some in store. It's delicious. It's really, really good. It's a lot though. Coming from a bourbon cask to that, it's a lot. There's a lot going on with that. I was a member of SNWS for 1 year. Had a bad experience at Edinburgh SNWS, but I felt forced to buy the bottle to make up for the membership fee. Haven't had any new SNWS since. I had a bad experience in the London one, mate, where the barman was just an absolute, yeah. Just opened and poured one of this year's auction wins, a North Star 13-year-old. Griffin, I think brilliant. Frank, brilliant. Let's see. Mike saying, FYI, the Bowmore is in this month's Scotch whisky auction. Yeah, they get snapped up. They did get snapped up really, really quick. When you're talking about that 4-year-old Rassy Dutch Oak, probably the most surprising bottle of Scotch I had this year, is that the mystery malt? Because I had the mystery malt Rassy Dutch Oak at the whisky show in London. And I was shocked because I thought it was like a sherry. It was virgin Dutch oak. I thought it was a sherried dram of sorts. And I said to Phil Thompson, I was like, right, this is what I think it is. And he's like, I know why you're thinking that, but no, it's this. I was like, wow, very, very different. Let's see. And Tony's grabbing a dram of the Scapa 10 in honour of Glenn. Ian's off. Ian, pleasure, mate. Absolutely great to have you in. Hope you have a wonderful week. Al Smith probably just bought all the bottles now. Yeah, it might have just went because I was talking about it since I showed it. And he did look. Yeah, that Rassy, the Virgin. Yeah, exactly. It was such an intriguing composition. And I'm glad I'm not alone. Where I thought it was something, we were like, oh, it's got to be something like this, something like that going on. It's so viscous. It's like sherry. Like a Pedro Jimenez sherry, like when it coats the tongue. And as I said, the guys in the store had said that it was like a... For context, if anybody's wondering what I'm talking about. The guys in the store were saying it was like peanut butter, no peanut butter, but peanut M&Ms. And I get that. There is a slight nuttiness coming through it. There is a slight nuttiness coming through it. Fucking done. Wasn't my intention to kind of get through that as quick. I think there was part of my mind was like, just see that off. Because that'll God, if that was the last dram, I'd be tasting that for about a week. That's me just opened it. That's a lovely, lovely drop. Fair play, Westland. I'm pretty sure Westland did the Adelphi bottle, didn't they, as well? Had the Adelphi. I never had the Adelphi, sorry. My mate Ben had the Adelphi at Glasgow. Just going back to check. Yeah, there's an 8-year-old Adelphi. It's 84 quid, give or take. And it's first fill PX. It's good stuff. It's good juice. It is really good juice. I'm not trying to shill for Adelphi, but if you're in the market for something a bit different, but at that price, this is the problem now. You could get a couple of Signatory 57.1s, but you know Adelphi do good stuff. I would definitely recommend it. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go back to the conversation, which was about the year ahead. So for the channel, as I said, we've done the rebrand of sorts. It's happened. The merch, got new t-shirts, and you can't see it. I'm wearing it under here. I've got my, hang on, go that way. My daughter knows what this is. It's my Ben Rinnes t-shirt. So good, they named a mountain after it. And she points at it and she goes, it's my whiskey t-shirt. 2.5. And if you ask her what I have for breakfast in the morning, she doesn't say coffee, she says whiskey. So I'm trying to teach her, no, don't say that. I don't have whiskey for I have coffee. I don't think she's ever seen me drink whiskey either, which makes it even more intriguing. So we've got some new bits of merch lined up, hopefully. Drams on the Run, the zine, which you can kind of clock. If I do this, see if this will work. You can clock Drams on the Run just in the background there, the zine. It's exclusive to patrons, which is a London guide to whiskey. At the moment, I am trying to finalise edition 2. It's taking forever. I'm being too precious about it. It just needs to get done. But I've been trying to make something a wee bit special for Glasgow, being home and all. So I've got that to look forward to for the Great Reset. And then I want edition 3 out this year and 4. I'm really setting myself quite a high bar. And then I'm going to collate them onto Drams on the Run 4-parter before they're out of date. Basically a guide to whiskey in different places. I mentioned Ireland. I really want to get over to Ireland. I want to go to Middleton Distillery in Cork. It's been on my bucket list for so long. Prices seem to have got a lot better with hotels and accommodation over there as well. Dingo was meant to go last year. Well, the year before, December. Storm put paid to that. That's still in my kind of checklist of places to go. Campbelltown needs to happen this year. So they're the adventures of sort. There's always going to be some other adventures that I can't plan for, but I think the main thing for me is aside for the live streams and the for me, which will always be just kind of short form content that I can just straight to camera, minimal editing, give an honest opinion, my opinion, and then move on. I really want to make longer form content, in that I want Drams on the Run, instead of being in 3 parts, I could have sat and edited. I wanted to get it out, this is the problem, so I got 1 and 2 out, and then life gets in the way, and part 3 never came out of going up north, and that needs to come out now, but it's so far behind the other part. Do I take the time and just make a really long video, or is it too long? Because I'm not seeing the ads. I don't know about you guys. I pay, one of the only subscription things I pay for is YouTube Premium. So I'm not used to seeing ads. So I don't know where the ads drop in on content. I know how disruptive that can be, and I could think of nothing worse if I make an hour long video and there's 14-15 ads during that, of which I'll make like 6 pence. It's not really worth it for me. And I know other whiskey YouTubers who have got loads of patrons and that can turn the ads off. But really, like, on a good... The last couple of months, well, 2 months, like, of my entire time in YouTube, I'd say this to the patrons, but I think I've made like a grand total of like 120 quid came from YouTube. Of that, 50 or 60 went, I can't remember the exact amount, but I worked it all out, went to Glasgow Whisky Festival Food Bank. So really, I don't make any money off of YouTube. So it's more about, for me, a bit like that, but also for you guys, longer form content. Would you be interested in it? I checked the stats. Half of these who watch my content watch it on TV. So I'm like, well, I've got the big canvas there. Half of these watch it on mobile. But I don't know if you're jumping between the two or whatever, or if you're watching it on mobile so you can reply on a live stream or whatever. So it'd be interesting to know that. So it's definitely something I'm going to explore. And then the streams are going to be frequent, every 2 weeks. I thought about going back to every week. The reality is I can't commit to it. No way life at the moment. My daughter and stuff like that. It's my wife. It's too much on a Saturday night to not be available. So I'm going to stick to every 2 weeks for now. It'll drop. It won't be every 2 weeks for the full year, as you know, but you're always really accommodating and understanding. So that's the big plan for the channel this year, is make better content, make more pointed content, make some more no indulgent, but a wee bit weirder and a wee bit kind of more unique content in the space, which I think I already kind of do, but do that. The podcast, like, I really want to do. I just don't know, do people care enough? There's a lot of whiskey podcasts now. I thought I was coming into a different angle, but when I've tried it, I've done a couple and I've not put them up. I just don't know how they land with people that aren't into whiskey, and you're trying to carry that, and I just don't want to do them for the sake of doing it. So it's definitely still there, but maybe it was just too much to take on, if I'm being honest. And so maybe it's a reset. It's looking at it going, right, what works, what doesn't. Drams on the Run, I love doing. Blackwell's Ramblings kind of went away purely because of the live stream, because that's where I can kind of ramble and talk. But I still use it for when I make videos in here, because I think it's quite pointed and it gives it a kind of definition. For me or no for me, I'm going to continue to do those. I've got 2 to put up. And I think the evolution of the live stream, there's always stuff being added. It's just prep time and getting it going. And I've just seen, I know other people have put comments in, but I've just seen that the latest one for Alan, Saturday Guest. I would love Saturday Guest, mate. Problem is it's Saturday night. And a lot of people, I've asked a couple of people before, and it's kind of, they've hummed and hawed a wee bit. So it's just finding the right people and doing it. Something I would love to do. I would love to do like a phone-in, drop-in type thing, where you guys could jump in. So at the start, when I'm like, tell us your drams, what you got, jump on, or questions or something like that, or tell us a story about this or whatever, some sort of interactive element to it, because it's a lot. I would love to not have to talk the entire time. That's one of the reasons the news segments started happening, because it gave me a 5-minute break to rest my voice. But it's definitely the evolution of stuff that I want to keep going and trying different stuff. I'd love to have people here in the space. I've got the space, I've got the setup. People can come here and do it. It's just finding the time, and because it's a Saturday night, it's a big ask. It's a big ask of people. It's probably the most indulgent part of the night. Drops viewers and everything. Me talking about myself. Let me get back up to the comments. where are we at? Talking about the price of drams and here we go. Alan saying, when my son was 2 years old, he embarrassed me in the alcohol section of the supermarket. Daddy juice. I get that. It's like, what does mommy drink? Tea. What's daddy drink? Whiskey. Points at t-shirt. She's like, what's that? ABCs, because you can see the letters. She's learning the letters, and she's like, ABC, and she's like, whiskey. You're right. And then Campbelltown this year, will that be during CMF? Maybe, Frank, maybe. Big maybe. Big positive maybe. Still a maybe, but it's looking positive. And he's got YouTube Premium here. No ads, yeah. It's just one of those. Honestly, guys, if you've not got YouTube Premium, it still gives people ad revenue. You still get a cut of ad revenue, apparently. I saw it in my breakdown, but it's like YouTube Premium people, and they somehow give you money through it. But it's the biggest godsend. You can set it up. We've got the family YouTube Premium, so we have it in the TVs. So it's on my wife's account, it's on my account, and it's also on an account that I have old YouTube videos, not whiskey related, sitting on, that we use for my daughter, where we can just put like Mr. Tumbo and all that kind of stuff on, and it doesn't affect the algorithm. It's worth every penny. It's worth every penny. Search Hunter saying, I watch all the long videos start to finish, have YouTube Premium too. I watch my second monitor mostly when playing some video game. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other beauty, is you can, for the live streams, you can, I feel like I'm shilling YouTube Premium now, but you can just close your phone and it still keeps playing. You can download as well for flights. So I do that a lot with a lot of YouTube videos. So I'll just download the YouTube videos and jump on the plane, and I can just watch YouTube and get up to speed. I'm saying, what about your pal who was new to whiskey? Get him on. It's just trying to get people on. It's just the time and the tech. Flying solo's easy because it's just me I need to worry about, and it's bringing other people in. Saturday night premium content after midnight. You can call it Dave Station. Don't know what you're talking about, Scottish Mist. Don't know what that refers to at all. Do tell us more. Difficult to make it to on Saturday evening for me, aye. It'd be great to hang out, absolutely, mate. It would be. Festivals this year, planning to attend. Glasgow, definitely. That's it so far. Campbelltown, fingers crossed. Had hoped, after last year and whatever, had hoped maybe America. America's off the cards, man. I just can't see it happening with the current state of play, which I'm really sad about. Then I thought to myself today, I was watching something and I thought, Canada might be fun. Canada's fun. But I'd hoped, I'd looked at Lindbergh, I thought that would be good. It's just time. It's just time with the family at the moment. The wee one's 2.5, so it's such a tricky age just to get away. But London Whiskey Show, I'll be there. Glasgow near tail end, and then we'll see. There's some bits and pieces in the UK that I kind of want to get to. There's an email I need to get back to. It's just because everything that's been happening, so hopefully it'll sort that. I've seen somebody put up Leaf. I don't think I'll be in Leaf, to be honest. Sadly, again, it's just timing. It's trying to work everything out with the gang at home. Firefox browser. You've got Origin plugin, no adverts on YouTube too. There you go, mate. Can't do that across all the TVs in the house though. Hamish is out. Hamish, pleasure, mate, as always. Keep safe in that treacherous conditions up there. Mike B's out. Thanks, David. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to yourself, mate. All the best. The background music is a bit Dave Station. Is this like Dave Station, like some weird radio station in GTA? Is that what we're talking about right now? Lowlander's got to 2 festivals. Fife Whisky Festival and Independent Spirits Festival. What about you? Fife was always... Fife came and went. Like for the tickets and that. And I mentioned Leaf already. Don't think so. Guys, I think you should do London. I think London is a weekend job. And the reason I say I think London's a weekend job is it's... the scale of it is daunting. And it's quite a tough one to do in one go. Because you'll end up quite tipsy. If you try it. If you try and take a run at it. I am going to just pour myself. Gonna go. Because Hamish mentioned it. He's got a video coming up for Brackler. And he's also up at Dornoch all the time. I'm going to go for the Dornoch Brackler. But it's a good one. It's expensive. It's the only thing that puts me off it every year. Is the actual price of a ticket. But the drams are unbelievable. You get talking to people. It's the usual as any whiskey show. Talk to people. You'll get good drams. The selection on the table, phenomenal. Under the table, unbelievable. I'm loving this. I feel that could be messy. What's the worst that could happen? And I make you Metropolis City. Trust me, can't be any worse than me. Cannot be any worse than mine. My adventure this year. After it, oh. You'll be absolutely fine. It's a great weekend. People from around the world are there. Speaking of which, something that I want to share, which I must have did it about, I think 3 times. I teed myself up to drop it in, and I just never. I kept getting distracted by the chat. Where is it? I just need to find. Let me sign in to this. Mac Campi Planet comes over for the whiskey show, and that he's actually in the UK just now. We were hoping to try and get some content together, but we've just ran out of time. Ran out of time as it happens. Where is it? It's up here. His channel, as you know, has been going for some years. And to celebrate 5 years of it, he's doing a bit of a greatest hits and Ask Me Anything. And he would love, if you've watched his content, he would love for you to engage with that. I'm just going to put it in the chat. Do that, and then I can pin it. There we go. I've pinned it in the chat. Basically, he's just asking if people could indulge him a little bit and say, these are the video I've watched. Only if you're enjoying it, if you watch the channel, brilliant. If you're not, then obviously you're not going to be able to do it. But the stuff he makes is phenomenal, and having made videos with him, the effort and the time he puts into it puts me to shame, absolute shame. And his video, you might have seen his video when he did it from behind the bar, and what a video. He's just some guy. He's heading up north tomorrow, and I know what he's doing, and I'm really, I don't know when those videos will come out, but it'll be it'll definitely be, the content will be good. It'll be really interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm kind of already anticipating the video, which is just testament to the stuff that Mac does. So, forms there. I'll leave it in the chat. I'll also put it in the comment. After once this goes and uploaded and stuff like that, I'll put it in the comments of there. But Alan's saying that he has limited experience with Japanese. Yeah, like, it's really he lives in Japan, and so when he started the channel and during COVID and whatever, it was a really interesting insight into that world and what it does. And I've got a for me or no for me coming up, where he gave me a miniature of the Yamazaki 12, and it goes in a direction that I really didn't expect at all. And I don't know if you've seen it, but maybe I'll drop it in here. I'll drop it as we're doing. Let's see if I can find the video. Where me and him did a video together, a wee collab in here. And again, it was another one that was just kind of off the cuff, like, let's do this. Because he was like, what have you got? And I was saying, oh, I've got this. I've got that. And I think it's a great intro to, dropped that in the chat there, a great intro to two common whiskies of sorts for Japanese when you start, versus like your Chichibus and your more premium ones and whatever. And my worst whiskey of 2025 was a Japanese thing, and I don't think I've ever posted anything negative on Instagram. I put it up there. It was disgusting. It was like drinking like old diesel puddles at a service station. Like, I thought those days were behind me. Brutal. Search Hunter saying Japanese whiskey is probably my least interesting style of whiskey. I had a tasted Chichibu or two, but the prices are silly, so I haven't seen much of his content. Yeah, but his content, there's a phenomenal video where he goes to this like museum whiskey place, or this, I want to say whiskey museum, whatever, but it has this bar. Fascinating. He goes to the Chichibu Matsui. Fascinating. I love that stuff. I love this stuff where it's like you get to see something that I'm probably never going to get the chance to go to myself. I would love to go to Japan and explore the whole whiskey scene there, but I can't get to Dublin, so Brackler's great, isn't it? So good. I've been lucky enough to have some lovely Japanese whiskies from SMWS when they were still affordable many years ago. Yet, like, Japanese whiskey was phenomenal, like, because it was so refined and just different. But then prices just went in supply and demand and stuff, and it is really prohibitive. The Chichibu on the way last year, I had that. So I had that in 2024 at the whiskey show, and it came out last year in the UK. I think John from Chingford that's in the chat, he got a bottle of it as well, because I commented it's phenomenal stuff, phenomenal, but it's $2.40 a bottle. Like, you would demolish that bottle, and I'm just like, it's 240 quid a bottle. I've got the Chichibus, the London editions, been buying those each year, not bought last year's, because again, I'm just like, a lot of money to put just to sit on a shelf. But it's good stuff. It is good stuff. Yamazaki peated is brilliant. Mizunara, I don't really care for too much, but some people do. So there's lots of really interesting stuff. Yoichi, brilliant. But to that point, if you're a Scotch person, you drink Scotch, you can buy stuff comparable, a lot less money. Scotsman saying I had a bottle of Hibiki 12 a long time ago before the hype and age statement drought. Big fan of. Think it was around 50 quid. Aye. This is what I mean. It just gets a wee bit mental. Yeah, that's the one. The theme, but it's the it's got the still in the middle. Not the guy's got unbelievable stuff, and then he drinks with the owner, and the owner tries to like strong arm them into buying like really expensive Scotch. It's brilliant. It's so good. Correct, Alan Brackler does not get spoken about enough. It's one of those distilleries that when it's good, it's very good. I don't think it's been managed very well at the OB side. I think IB Brackler, fantastic. I think OB Brackler is a bit of a missed opportunity. I think it's priced too high. I did see that Whisky Exchange had like an OB bottling on sale, but the Royal Brackler 16 missed him up. It's really, really tasty too. Yeah, it's Brackler. It's good. It's just good stuff. I paid 36 for this bottle. That was with the 20% off, but it's just a lovely dram. The spirit's so strong in it. And we're talking about authenticity and work harder for your money and whatever. Keep giving me stuff like that at that price. Won't have to work very hard at all. So that's been I've indulged. You guys have let me indulge myself and give you my kind of the Great Reset 2026 thoughts, opinion, predictions for this year. What about you? What are you thinking? What's kind of in your wheelhouse of 2026? Doesn't need to be a great reset or anything, but any predictions for the year ahead? Do you think it's going to be doom and gloom? Do you think it's going to be kind of mid-table, positive? Any distilleries you're looking forward to? Any releases you're looking forward to? Please do let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything that I should be focusing on this year. Is there anything that's kind of passed me by where I've not mentioned it or looked at it? I always get FOMO of, even though I have bottles galore and too much, I'm like, oh, I don't have this. Have I got enough of that? Can I try that? For example, this here, this white one. This is a really intriguing blend that I got for Christmas, which is just like made up of all the islands in Scotland, from Marks and Spencer's. It's 40%. I'm not expecting it to be mind-shatteringly amazing, but I'm really intrigued by something like that, something I've never had, and I got it, and that's what I said. I said, I've never had this. I'm excited to try this. People could turn their nose up at it, and I'm like, no, I'm buzzing. This is going to be an adventure. Correct, one of my drams of the year in 25 was an OB exceptional cask Brackler. Strangely enough, was not affordable. Yeah, it's really frustrating. The premiumisation, the less wank. Bring it down. Get it shifting. Build the reputation with a core. Maybe bring up a wee bit, but then drop some bangers that are a bit more expensive, and people will go for it. It's a treat. Frank's saying, love the Campai Planet channel. The videos are informative, enjoyable, and energetic. Aye, he does a great job with them, honestly. And it's such, when they come out, that they've been crafted, they've been taking their time, and that's part of what I'm saying. When I'm saying, instead of more frequent content and trying to like get stuff out, I feel like I'm always chasing my tail. I would like to be more considered and put out stuff that I'm really happy with. Can I share what the mystery malt on the podium is? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me put dram cam. See if this will focus. I'm going to focus. There we go. Keelela 12. Delicious. It's such a good dram. It'll probably be the one. See what's on the floor. Aye, it'll be my last dram of the night. It'll be that Kalila 12. Won't quite make the Kilkerran. Peathead Frank's predictions this year. Buy more whiskey. Aye. And predicted as usual. I'll say no predictions. I just hope those working for the distillery are not affected too much people's jobs at the end of the day. Exactly. It's a big bugbear of mine when there's distilleries out there, brands that people don't like, and you can slag off, and it's easy to slag off. At the end of the day, people are just doing their jobs, and there's been jobs lost already, and that's why I kind of had that wee dig at the SWA at the start. I just don't think they're doing enough. And I don't think the governments, both governments, Scottish and British, are doing enough to protect those jobs and help those people. I think the brand ambassadors and people that are out and about doing a phenomenal job, because that's a hard job to be on the road all the time, drinking, shilling, like just moving. They're at risk as well, because if the bottles don't keep selling, so it's really important that they get some support. Lowlander saying, I think we might potentially see some 18-year-old single malt whiskies dip below 100 this year, especially for IBs. I think we will. I really think we will. There was one, what was the one I saw the day? I saw an 18-year-old for something the day. Was it 16 or 18? Master of Malt. Is it an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old they've put out for Burns Night? Which is cheap. Like, really cheap. Where is it? See if I go here. Malt, Burns Night, whiskey. Sorry, it's a 16-year-old. 16-year-old at 50.5%, and it's $49.95. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Get your own mind up. Oh God, that's far too long. What is that all about? This can go. I have no idea. My dog's been let out. He's barking like mad outside. Why that's happening at 3 minutes past midnight, who knows? Let me see. What else we got going on here? Sorry guys, got flung off by that. Hope to see more Ballankin and Edredor releases through Kirsch imports this year. Yeah, Kirsch do quite a bit, don't they? Live in Glasgow 70-70, we think get some solid cash through Germany. Sorry, chat just jumped massively there. And he's saying Edredor's my favourite distillery. More OB bottles in my life. And yeah, and Roy, I can see that the guys are saying did you watch Aquavita's live stream from the distillery a few weeks ago? I've not watched it yet. Again, I'm so behind. I'm saying I'm usually one of those people that watches everything but doesn't comment much to his mate. I'm so honestly, thank you so much for engaging. I hope you won't be a stranger. We've got a good bunch in here, especially on a Saturday. Like really nice people. And apologies for dropping that in there. Frank saying sherry matured. No wonder it's only 50 quid. Who wants that? And then make a dram decision. Welcome in, mate. Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. And then any bottles getting really big drinks whiskey in 2026. Oh, I would love that. How good would that be? I don't have the confidence to do it, if I'm honest. I think it's I would love to do it. I just would be terrified I would do it and nobody would pick them up. Do you know what I mean? Nobody would give a toss. That's my thing. That's the thing that would hold me back in it. And also, it would need to be affordable, and it would need to be the right thing. And I would love to. I would love it. But you know what? For now, I'm quite happy with just drinking them, to be honest. Mac, welcome in, mate. I'm sure you've been there lurking in the background probably, but absolutely. Channel's great, and I think I've told the guys already which ones to, if they've not watched you before, where to head to watch. Oh, brilliant. We got the Whiskey Friend in as well this evening. Welcome, mate. Just get in, fella. Picked up Speyburn 18. 45 quid from Summerton Whisky Club. 4 bottles delivered today. Brilliant. They're doing, Summerton's doing that Glasgow show on the 24th, aren't they? They're now involved in that. The National Whisky Festival. So it'll be intriguing to see what the shop is there, but can't he beat that? Speyburn 18 for 45 quid. Cheers, see you, mate. And Alan saying about the community, mostly nice people in Lowlander. I know. So I was saying, I hope I'll be around next time. Now I wonder if Petehead and me are secretly neighbours. Probably. Start revving his bike. And saying about that, I need to watch it because I know he's mental, isn't he? Yeah, definitely watch it. It's a funny story about he tried to buy Caledonian and was back in Port Ellen back in the late 80s, early 90s. Brilliant. And Maker Dram saying, I've released all the bottles in my stash. Brilliant. What you got in the glass? He said, aren't there quite a few 18-year-old official bottles with RRP under 100? Can think of Speyburn, Lochlow, Deanston. Aye, there are. There's a few that kind of just hover about and do reductions as well in them. But I think we're going to see, I think what he was referring to is we're going to see quite a bit more. You can dream, but like 21-year-olds don't need to be premium £170 bottles. What's going on? Like, it still hurts me a wee bit that Springbank 15 is like a 75 quid bottle now. When did that happen? Well, I know when it happened, but you know what I mean. And he's saying, given the forthcoming whisky lock, the chances are that the distillery will bang your doors to make a drinks whisky release. I don't think so, mate. I really don't think so. And to be honest, like, there's a few I would love to. I'm in a happy place where I don't worry about any of it. To be honest, any of the PR stuff or getting reached out, I don't really get contacted by many distilleries at all, to be honest. And I don't know if it's just because maybe I'm too forthright in what we're saying or in that kind of vein. But I'd love to do. I would absolutely love to do something purely for the ego of saying that's my bottle. I think that's human nature to be able to say that I picked that and I enjoyed that and I put it out, and then everybody else like that tastes terrible. But at the same time, it's just understanding expectations and realities. I think one of the best ones I saw done was Vin's No Nonsense Whiskey. Did it with Glasgow Distillery, and he did this unbelievably banging peated PX bottle, and it was brilliant. It's quite young, didn't taste young. It was great. Was it affordable? Wasn't it too expensive, if I remember correctly at all? And it kind of shifted. But I've got to be realistic with my audience and who I expect and what I can expect with people and what I would ask people. And I wouldn't want to do it also with a distillery and then the distillery is left holding bottles at all. So it would need to be a really small type, something like that, and it would also be really heavily influenced by everybody involved in the community. I'm just know what that I don't think I'm at that stage at all. I think it would be quite, I don't know, I'd feel uncomfortable because it took me long enough to do a Patreon and all that. Never mind get to that stage, but okay, if he's a force in my hand, we'll see. We'll see. We never quite got the North Star Echo Gate. Might get a Brave New Spirits Echo Gate. See how that goes. Black Lodge Mystery Malt. I'd probably go, to be honest, it'd be, if anything was ever to come about, it'd be bourbon cask or maybe a blend. They would be my two. Something bourbon cask or something blend. Nothing sherry, nothing peated. Just because it's got the broadest opportunity. But also, I'm quite fortunate in my palate. I quite enjoy everything. So I'd probably go along that way. But look, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Getting ahead of ourselves here. Right, you've got my attention here, Sir Jenna. What did you buy? What did you buy? Happy New Year, James. Great to have you in, mate. I just saw that. Apologies. Happy New Year. Hope you're keeping well. And get back to your company. Instead of looking at your phone like that. And then... I knew you would. I knew you would, mate. I know you would. Did you get... I meant to say, did you ever get that... You got some of that Springbank 18, didn't you? The haberdashery when we were up. Right, we're going, hang on, let me... Tram cam. Finishing off with the old mystery malt. You won't see it, but it's Kalila 12. And I know whiskey purists will kill me for pulling in the same glass, but come on, we're all friends here. Let's just get that lovely, the smoke, that's kind of briny sea salt. It's brilliant. I can't even find the words. Now, bear in mind, 46.3. A little bit thin, but that's because where I've been before that has been a little bit more heavy in the proof. But on the nose, everything you want in a Kalila, just everything's coming through. And then just a lovely, I would say it's not, the peat's there, a lot of peat compared to what I've had. Obviously it's the first peated one I've had tonight. Sits mid-palate, it just lies across your mid-palate. And the finish just keeps going. 46.3%. I keep reiterating that because I think quality just shines. It doesn't need to be super high proof. We had that and it just kept cutting through everything else so well. We had something to eat and it kept cutting through. There's almost like the finish feels a little bit licoricey, black licorice. Brilliant, so good, such a great dram. And then Thompson Brothers 52-year-old Ben Nevis, most expensive bottle, oh my goodness. And a few people in the comments saying, how did it taste? He's saying, I've not owned it yet. I don't blame you, mate, and your reasoning is exactly the same as mine. About 135 open bottles at the moment. Ben Nevis, top dealer. Yeah, palate wise, trust the Thompson Brothers as you should. If you're in line with them, by all means. And also, yeah, you can get special bottles, but don't need to open them right away. I do agree, we get our bottles opened, but there's no rush. There's no rush. You'll always find a good time. Scottish Mist saying the one I wanted, but common sense prevails. Brute Laddie X418. I know. I can't even bring myself to buy the normal 18 at that price, and it's delicious as well. Just needs to break it just a wee bit, just a bit. Ah, mate, I thought I'd brought that I brought the 18-year-old Springbank 18, the bourbon cask. I had brought it specifically for you at the tasting. So disappointed you never got any. It's 1 in 4 in the series. Didn't want to get drawn in. Exactly. It'll just hit you, and may the peat be with you, and also with you. I think because I never had many drams all through that Christmas period and stuff up until today. Like the last dram I had at the funeral on Monday, the only thing I had was a grouse. And then before that, New Year's Eve, what did I have? I had a couple of little samples I was sent. We'll say samples, but like little shared ones of some older stuff. Glenlivet. No, was that Glenlivet? I'm pretty sure it was a similar thing I had when I was up at Dornoch. An old 8-year-old, 70s, 80s, and stuff. So I had a couple of those as my drams for the bells. So I never really drank much. So my palate's been kind of well rested. So coming into that peat, it's nice to taste and smell the peat again. I was getting a bit peat blight, which was killing me. I love having 2 or 3 unpeated drams before having a peat one. Makes that smoke shine some more. Yeah, exactly. I just think in the nose as well, being able to pull out that stuff. December's such an intense month for the senses, I feel, that when you have that downtime, all of a sudden everything comes back up. 750 quid for a 52-year-old is a great price. It is. They do well. The one regret is I never bought the 40-year-old, the 1984 bottle they brought out. That's a birth year bottle. The blend, I just never did it. I never did the Living Souls one either. I really should. And then I see people pop into the shop in Dornoch, and sometimes it's just sat on the shelf. It was there when I was there in the summer, and I never bought it. And I'm just like, kills you. And Mac saying Campi Planet saying he bought it for obvious reasons. For your 40th. And Tony saying, I enjoyed listening to you and your mates try to convince yourselves to change your flight so you can stay later at the haberdashery. Honestly, Tony, I tried so hard. We did the right thing in the end. The sensible thing. But we were so close. So close. I'm not making that mistake this year. Going back probably the following Friday. And even the flight back. It's a rough flight back. Tell you that. I think I might have to. Yes, my 40th. Absolutely. Still in cloud 9 with that Rassie. Gave myself a big old pour. Aye, it's brilliant. That 4-year-old Rassie, honestly. Dutch Virgin Oak. That's the beauty of the mystery malts, where they can give you something that you just don't expect at all. And I'm happy to be ending with a mystery malt from the fine folk at Dornoch. It's what a positive of 2025 that was. And I think when we come on to 2026, and as we said, doing the the kind of reset in what we're doing. More and more people have looked at what Thompson Brothers have done and are shifting that way, trying to find that level of engagement and that kind of understanding of what drinkers want. And I think that's really encouraging. I think they should be copied, and they're so open about it as well. Copy is like, you want to get involved with Mystery Malt, get involved, and that's the attitude that needs to be had. I think it's going to be a positive year. I'm really, really positive about this year. Trying to feel optimistic, coming in hard. Yes, it's going to be a good 2026, and then we'll just clip that this time next year. Completely grey, ashen faced. Oh, on that note, I'm just seeing what's going on. Where was it? Can't find it. It's getting too late. Guys, it's 12:21. I am overshooting my usual finish time of 12:15. I'm going to do another minute or two, and then I'm going to call it a day, if you don't mind. I've got a busy Sunday ahead, as I'm sure you all do have as well. Killer's great, the drum's been great, the chat's been phenomenal as always. It's been so good to have you all in. I hope you have had a wonderful new year so far. I know the year will be fantastic for you all. Wee glass to yous. Try not to laugh at reading this comment. Don't feel too bad about missing out on the 40-year-old. You know, just like it will come again soon. FOMO is real, but don't let it win. Unless it's 52-year-old Ben Nevis at 750 quid. Aye, exactly, mate. Exactly. Thank you for that, Serge Hunter. Alan, the whiskey friend, he's doing a masterclass with Thompson Brothers in Southport on Saturday. I'll make you in for a treat. You know for a fact you're in for a treat. Jealous. Very, very jealous of that. Oh, I don't know. Thank you for joining in, guys. Honestly, I appreciate it. It's great to have yous all in. You guys are the reason that we make it in. Oh, and I've seen a comment come in as well. Did I make it in time for the quiz? Right, a quiz. With my time, there's no time. There's not enough time in the day. But I appreciate you joining. Thanks so much. And Frank, thanks for always, as always, for organising great stream time. To call it a day. See you all soon. You'll have missed your first Dave Station calls if you don't hurry. Guys, honestly, 2026 is going to be a great year. Thank you all for tuning in. And I need to remember to make sure I press the right button here, but I'll see you in the next one. And remember, I've just saw that Campi Planet comment, fill in the survey. It's pinned, it's in the chat. Go fill the survey, help them out. Cheers, guys.